Hello everyone. It is Charlotte here. Welcome to my home. If you remember my last video, if you happen to see that, was a journal share with removable signatures, two removable signatures. And that is what we are going to make today. I had enough of this fabric left over to do a second cover, and then the only thing I have left over of this, just beautiful fabric, is this piece right here and some itty bitty scraps that we are going to be using up, and then that paper pad is completely gone. Yeah, so I am really excited about this. What I did was, we're just going to kind of do a little remake. So if you're at all curious, you can just watch that video with the Etsy share. It is sold in the mail, off to a new home. So thank you so much for that. Now this piece of paper that I have is, it goes by literally the page that I had left. So it is a 7 by 8, and just fold it in half. And the other one was the same, a 7 by, it would have been a 4 when I measured it for sale. It would have been a 7 in length and then 4 in the width. So what I did is I didn't even measure this, guys. You know how I am. I just went ahead and I wanted 2 signatures in this. So I added 2 eyelets at the top, 2 eyelets at the bottom. But before I did that, I added a strip of Tyvek tape. You could use masking tape, clear packing tape. You could use washi tape. You could use fabric. I didn't think that, because you're going to have elastic here and it could be stretched depending upon how many more papers you wanted to add. If you wanted to add another signature, you could just keep going with this. So I just wanted to strengthen the paper around here, so I put a piece of Tyvek. You're literally not really going to see this when you open up this journal. Then I did a eyelet in the center and just took a piece of elastic, looped it through. I added a little silver charm there to keep this from ever pulling out. I did not do this in the one that is off to a new home because it wasn't necessary, but this one I thought, oh, just to be on the safe side. Then I tied a knot, put a little bit of glue over that so the knot's not going anywhere, and that creates really the foundation for the making of this journal. Then I went ahead and put together papers and created my 2 signatures, and here they are. Now, when you do a journal like this, you have the option of putting these in the journal like that with the elastic down the center, and each page its own individual page, so that you can take any pages out whenever you want to take them out. You can add as many as you want wherever inside this signature you want to do that. I decided in the last one I was going to sew these signatures so that you were not going to be able to take the signatures apart or individual papers outside of these signatures. Now, the person that receives this journal, if she wanted, could go in there and cut the binding thread, and then you would have individual signatures. The reason I did it the way I did, it's a simple 3-hole pamphlet stitch, is because sometimes the papers tend to get lopsided and they don't flop around, but they tend to move, and I did not want that. So once these signatures are in, you can easily add pages to the front to the back. You just can't add pages inside because this is going to be sewn. So I'm going to stick with that method with this one as well. And we are going to go ahead and stitch these three signatures, or these two signatures, with a 3-hole pamphlet stitch. And then we are going to put our elastic in. In the next video, we are going to start to decorate our pages. And for me, that's where all the fun is. Now, I'm calling this a scrap journal because it is basically done all with scraps. It's how I did the last one. And we created our tags, our pockets, our tucks, whatever we had, we created using lots of scraps. All these pages here are basically scraps that I had, except for the copy dyed. I did cut those down and use them, but I put together all the other pages from scraps that I had. So I am just going to go ahead and, you know me, I just eyeball everything. I am going to go ahead and put my 3 holes in here, and we are going to stitch this together. Now we are going to stitch this together coming in from the inside, because I am not going to be putting beads on this, because it is going to be removed and I don't see the point. We're just going to tie a bow on the inside here, and you don't have to do that either. If you don't want, you could just make a knot. I'm not putting the elastic in until I get these done, just so I'll know how tight to make it. So in and out, and then in again. Trying not to poke myself. Well, I had it and then I lost it, so here we go. In. And then what I like to do is just bring this needle down underneath this. And we're going to tie a knot. I'm going to pull it, make sure that it's tight but not too tight. Cut this off. And I really should have made that long enough to do both of them. But we will keep that thread because we can always use it on something else. I have the option now to cut these short. I am going to just go ahead and tie a knot. Just like that, and signature 1 is done, and we will move on now to signature 2. And I checked these to make sure everything is going in the right direction. Move this up just a tiny bit. I'm trying to make sure that we have nothing upside down. I have done that before, and I've left it. You know, it's not worth taking it all apart once you've sewn it. So it is what it is. I am by no means perfect. So there we go. We are just going to repeat what we did with our first hole and then 2 more. So 1, 2, and thread. Usually 3 times will do it. If I have anything left over, I can use it for tags. I can use it for like envelopes. So I'm not whatever. So here we go. The first hole, we came from the inside out. Then we're going from the outside in through the top. Maybe every once in a while I have to just re-poke this hole. Not a big deal. I really don't want to have to do it individually. There we go. So into the inside, out through the middle hole, out to the outside, and then in through the bottom, I hope. And we'll tie our knot after we come up underneath this piece here, just like that. We'll pull it. Tie it. Tie a bow. And we have our signatures. Just like that. That's a little bit long. Put this away. Put the cap on these so we don't have any loss. No one wants to be stepping on any needles. I've done that before. When we were in Greece, when we lived in Greece, back in the early 80s, we lived on the economy, and I used to do crewel work, which I absolutely loved. I did that way before I did cross stitching. And in the living room, we had a flaccati rug, and what that is it's a long-haired sheepskin rug. And usually when you work with crewel, you work with lots of yarns, and so you would have a needle, maybe not quite this big, but pretty big with a pretty large eye. And yeah, I dropped it, could not find it. The flaccati rug was probably a good 4 inches long, the hair. And oh, I found it all right. I found it up in the bottom of my foot. So that was something you can believe I never ever did again. So there's a little story for you. I had gone to, was it Hobby Lobby? I got this elastic from Hobby Lobby. And I can tell you I don't know if I really kind of wasted my money on this or not, because there really is only one side of this elastic that I care for, and that is this size here. This size is so tiny, I have no idea what I'm going to do with this. I'm going to have to come up with something. And the same with this one. This one's, if you are doing, I would say if you're doing a book like this and smaller, this would work really well. This really, I think, would be more for jewelry. This is perfect. So what I need to do is try to figure out how we do this. Do we go in the bottom? Maybe we go in the bottom, up the top. Let me see. In the bottom, up the top. Or is it the top? Yeah, in the bottom, up the top. So then it would be, okay, up the bottom hole through the top hole, then up the bottom top hole through the top bottom hole. That's how I think it is, because you don't see the elastic on the outside except for where these holes are. So that's right. And then we are going to tie it off. Let's see. We are going to tie this off. So this is what I have. And you don't want it too tight. This is where the guessing game comes in, because if you tie it too tight, that's what you're gonna get. You don't want that. And I want these to be on the same side. So here they are. See, these are on the same side. You want these tight enough that they're gonna hold your signatures, but you don't want them so tight that they're gonna bend your cover up. So depending upon how many pages you have in a signature, there isn't any exact science to this. You are going to have to figure that one out on your own if you make one of these. And you might want to start with a single elastic instead of a double. Now, do you see how we're kind of bending? I'm pretty sure I had that on the last one, and I was okay with that, because as soon as I put my signatures in, I had no problem. But let's check her out, because if it is a problem, then we have to do something about that. So depending upon what is signature A, what is signature B, I've not really paid attention. I don't know if one of these is longer than the other, because obviously one hole is higher than the other. So we are going to, before I cut anything off, we're going to check this out. You can see that, yeah, I think that we are good with that. I cut this a little bit long. You can see how loose this is, because we're going to be filling this up. And so, yeah, we need extra length there. So I think this is good. And I am going to go ahead and just do another knot on here. I'm not going to cut this yet, because I'm going to put a little dab of glue on this. I'm not going to do it on camera, but I am going to put just a little dab of glue on here. So this is as far as we are going to get today, but I wanted to show you that you can add pages to here. You can add pages to here. You just would slip whatever extra pages you want right here. And if you wanted to add another signature, you could. So, yeah, guys, it just makes the sweetest little journal, and pages can be taken in and out. And the next step is going to be to get together in the next video and start seeing what we want to put as far as ephemera goes, because we need to fill this up. But I know that there are several of you that like to work along with me, and as I look at this, I'm wondering if we should go the other way. If this elastic should be on this side. Let's go ahead and switch these and put this in the back. and this in the front and see if it makes any difference. So the one with the knot, I want in the front this way. Let's do this. And then I'll look at it. So we just slip that right in there like that. Take this one. Take this elastic and just slip that right in there. Let me see what that looks like. I just think, I don't know what it is. I just like that better. I can't tell you why, I just do. So we are hanging out a little bit here, and I thought maybe we might. I am leaving that. I'm not going to do anything with it. We might add some lace to this so you wouldn't see this anyway, and the same on here. This is going to just get fatter and fatter because we're going to load her up. So tomorrow, or the next video, we will do something with this page here, and then just about every page coming we are going to get into the scrap pile. These are the papers that I put in. And we've got coffee dye, tea dyed paper, the last of that paper pack. I could not even tell you the name of this paper pack. All I could tell you is it's Prima, and that's really all I know. This page I folded up. I thought, well, maybe we'll do a pocket. I don't know, do we want a side pocket? Do we want a pocket from the top? We'll figure that out. Then we've got this. What I did is I went ahead and took a divot out here and glued this down so that that's going to make a nice pocket. We've got a piece of vellum, and here we go, guys. The pages in one signature are different from the pages in the other. So I made a pocket out of that as well. So that is signature one. And of course that you can flip these if you wanted. But here's the second. This has some, I love this. This has some tissue paper in it. The other signature didn't. This has a fold out. Of course the other one did. This has lined paper. I'm not sure the other one had any lined paper. This is a fold out, more lined paper. This paper here is not in the other signature. We've got some white tissue there. There is the inside. So we have the option here to take a divot if we want and do the same thing. Until we get working with this, I don't know if that's something we're going to want to do. That folds out. Then we've got a little ripped paper there, which I love. Some lined paper, scrapbook paper, dictionary paper, tissue paper, and a fold out there, and here is the back. Now this piece was in the other one that I completed. I did nothing on the back because I love this right here. Did not want to cover that up. But that doesn't mean that we couldn't put a long narrow pocket here if we wanted and have a tag that comes in from the outside. So this is going to be our project. This is what we're going to be working on until it is done. And so I hope that you're intrigued. I hope that you will stick around and enjoy this. And I will see you in the next video. Thanks so much, guys. Bye.